What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is John. Today we're going to be doing a camera comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus and the Google Pixel 3a. The Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus has the highest DxOMark score of 113 out of any smartphone on the market currently, and you can pick it up for $11.75, while the Google Pixel 3a, which you can pick up for $3.99, has one of the best cameras, and that's because it uses the same technology as on the Google Pixel 3. Like I said, this is our best buy of 2019, so for $3.99 you can pick it up and get a really awesome, memorable camera experience using this device, or spring for the $11.75 and go for the more pro-oriented Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Today I took individual pictures for each device to show you just how memorable photos look on the Google Pixel 3a and just how professional photos look on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus 256 gigabytes. Let's go ahead and get started with what each photo looks like on each device and what you're getting for the money. So let's go ahead and start off with the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I've got some really awesome photos here. This one in particular I think looks very professional. I think if you're some kind of real estate agent or some kind of property developer, you're definitely going to want to have something like a Samsung Galaxy Note 10 where you can take advantage of that ultra wide angle lens, that telephoto lens, and that standard 27mm lens. Like I said, it has three lenses. The ultra wide angle lens is a 12mm lens and the telephoto lens is a 50mm lens. All three cameras take really stunning photographs, crystal clear, very professional looking images, but it does have some drawbacks, and I kind of want to go ahead and take a look at that now. So here's a picture of some bananas. Now, not the most elegant still life photo you can take on a device. I would venture out to say that the Google Pixel 3a could probably do a better job than this. But I just want to show you the crispness and the professionalism that you get with the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. You're not going to get images that are oversaturated or contrasty looking. You're going to get images that are harsh and real and that look exactly like they do in real life. The colors are not going to be exaggerated on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, even though you can make them exaggerated. And the lighting is going to be just pretty standard for the most part. So I think, like I said, not the most elegant still life, but is a great example of the type of color reproduction that you're going to get in typical lighting situations of images with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. This one I like in particular because I think this is sort of an artsy photo. It's sort of like this chronological timeline of life. You've got the clock in the upper left-hand corner pointing down. This line is going downwards here. It's the staircase of life going down. In the center, you just sort of have this advertisement for the zoo. Sort of represents the excitement of life. Going to the zoo is exciting. And then at the very end, you have this family portrait, which family always matters the most, right? So you have time, you have excitement, which is life, and then you have at the end family, which matters most, which is family is always going to be there for you at the end. So I really love this photo, and you sort of have just a doorway here into this pantry, a chair to sit down and reflect on things that have happened in the past, and of course the stairway which you can either ascend or descend in the background, which sort of encapsulates life. I think I love this photo, and it looks great on the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. It's not depicted in any way that I wouldn't want it to be depicted. It is just the way it is, and that's life. Life is just the way it is, right? So that's why I particularly love that photo. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to some more fun topics. This was taken with the ultra wide angle lens, the 12mm lens on the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. And you can just tell that with the ultra wide lens, you can really capture an amazing story. And I think that's exactly what this sculpture represents. It represents a story of ascending and of moving up in life, which is why it was placed outside this leasing agent office. So this leasing office is actually by this company called Allure, and you can see that banner up here in the top left hand corner. But they lease out really nice condominiums to people interested, and obviously, you know, these are people on their way up in life. And I think this sculpture tells that story of being on your way up in life and going upwards, because umbrellas typically carry people away. So I think you can really capture stories with the ultra wide angle lens, and let me show you an example of that. It's because it allows you to capture all the action happening at once. So here's another sculpture of what looks to be some people playing dominoes. If you actually zoom in, you can see the dominoes at the center of the table here. They're not playing cards, but dominoes are usually fun. They usually fall over, or you usually throw them down or slam them down or move them around the board in any type of way, which is exciting. And this ultra wide angle lens allows you to capture all that excitement at once, which I love. Also, here's another sort of touching photo. This one was taken with the standard 27mm lens, and this one was taken with that ultra wide angle lens. As you can see, you can really capture all the information. You can capture everything that's going on. You can capture all the energy in the photo with that ultra wide angle lens, which is really why I love it the most, is because you can just have so much fun with it and depict images differently than with the standard 27mm lens, which I shot with here. So these are just some sunset photos. I really like this sunset photo because it looks like we're underwater. This cloud right here looks like a shark swimming over top. But as you can see, there's a lot of noise in the photo when you zoom in. And that's because I didn't take this photo using night sight. I actually took it just standard, I believe. From what I can remember, I took it standard. The f number was 2.2 and the focal length was 1.8 millimeters. The exposure time is 1/59th of a second. So that was definitely not using night sight. I think using night sight, you definitely take longer exposure time. So here, I believe this photo was taken using night sight. As you can see, the exposure time was 1/4 of a second instead of 1/59th of a second. And that's due to the fact that that shutter speed was slowed down to capture more light. But this is where I really want to criticize the pro aspect of this camera. The Galaxy Note 10 Plus is not a pro device by any marketing term, but it is a pro device by any use case, and that's because it comes with the 3 camera module on the back. And just like the iPhone 11 Pro that was announced yesterday, that is a Pro model and has a very similar camera setup. So the Galaxy Note 10 Plus is a Pro device. It has the price tag of a Pro device, therefore I'm going to consider it a Pro device and criticize it as such. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and move on. This photo is not Pro in the fact that you get some really exaggerated banding here on top of the bushes. So it looks like the bushes are sort of normal from this band outwards. So like the edge of the shrub here, or the edge of this bush, seems pretty normal topographically until you get to about right here moving backwards. So if you see, there are some bands in here that just make it look flat and sort of distorted looking, and that's not a very good look to me. But if you actually zoom in, you do get some pretty decent detail, and that is thanks to that aperture staying wide open for 1/4 of a second instead of 1/59th of a second. There is also a downside though to taking night shot photos, in that you do tend to move your hand around a little bit. Even though the camera does have optical steady shot built in, you do still move your hand around a little bit as you're standing there capturing the photo, waiting for the shutter to close entirely and save the photo. And I think we're seeing that distortion here from your hand shaking and moving just a little bit in this lack of detail here. So it's actually, the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus is a really fun camera to take photos on. It's absolutely phenomenal. You have 3 options, like I said, the ultra wide, the telephoto, and the standard, which start at 12 millimeters, 27 millimeters, and 50 millimeters respectively. I'm no pro photographer by any means, but like I said, if you're like some type of real estate agent or a property developer or any type of professional person where you want to take photos and send them out to people for advertisement purposes or for marketing purposes or for sales purposes, this phone is truly a tremendous way to go. You have those 3 options, and it takes terrific photos really in any light and in any circumstance. If you really want to take something memorable, you can do that. Or if you want to take something more professional, you can do that as well. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Google Pixel 3a. Some really awesome, memorable photos with the Google Pixel 3a include this photo right here. It was a little bit dark out today, so some of these photos are going to look a little bit dark. Also, I think the Google Pixel 3a has this sort of ND filter over it because all the photos that I've taken with it tend to be a little bit on the darker side. So these photos in particular aren't all that exciting. They're a little bit on the darker side, but really that is what I mean by them being memorable. For some reason, darker photos are more memorable. Whether they have tons of lighting in them or whether the lighting is poor that day, it really reminds you that that day was a dark day. So as you can see, here's this really pretty landscape shot. It's a little bit on the dark side. Some gentlemen standing on the corner there, a little bit on the dark side. This motor here, which is really not all that exciting, a little bit on the dark side. It was a dark day, so I took some really kind of not all that exciting photos, but the Google Pixel 3a does a really phenomenal job of capturing it. Look at the detail though with this f1.8 28mm lens. Seriously, look at the detail in this photograph. And no matter how much I zoom in, you're still getting that detail of this copper that was used to make these sculptures. So here they are playing dominoes again. You can definitely tell, you can see the number of the dominoes in the image itself. Really high quality photo taken with the Google Pixel 3a. Even though it's a little bit on the dark side, they just look so memorable and very contrasty and very nicely exposed. I just can't get away from how dark they are. But nonetheless, you can always change that in the settings with light and color and pop. Downtown Fort Myers is a really exciting place to be. It's actually got this little art scene going on. Thomas Edison and Firestone both lived in, Thomas Edison and Henry Ford both lived in downtown Fort Myers back in the early 1900s, which is really a pretty big deal for this little town. So there's definitely a little bit of industry and a little bit of art going on and a little bit of culture going on. Everything just looks so memorable with the Google Pixel 3a. Just some standard shots. This is the Edison movie theater here. Now, I did take all of these same exact photos with the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and they actually looked better on the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. So, and of course you had that ultra wide angle lens and that telephoto lens to work with too, which was really awesome. But when going for memorable photos, the Google Pixel 3a was the first one that I wanted to shoot with. So that's why I'm showing you these photos. And here are some just standard photos of the sunset, nothing really too special. But if we actually remember back to the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, we got that banding in this shot. It looks so much better in the Google Pixel 3a. You don't get that banding as harshly, maybe just a little bit here in the back, but for the most part, this bush actually looks topographically correct. It doesn't look smeared, or it doesn't look, yeah, it just looks more topographically correct. And also, there is just so much more detail, I think, in this photo overall. It doesn't look as pixelated. It looks just a little bit more noisy, but overall clearer, I think. So I think the conclusion is with this camera comparison that there's actually more mistakes to make with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus than there is with the Google Pixel 3a. So if you're someone who isn't really a pro photographer who wants to take just memorable, good all-around photos, the Google Pixel 3a for $399, our best buy of 2019, you can't beat it. Really, you cannot beat it. The color accuracy is there, the detail is there, and the correctness in the images is there. And that's simply due to the fact that you only have one lens to work with. So the likelihood of you taking a better photo is going to be more likely given the fact that you have one lens to shoot with. It's like law of diminishing returns. The first photo you take is going to be really good because you're most excited about the scene. So it's like, you know, oh, this is a really cool image, I'm going to capture it. And the Google Pixel 3a will do it perfect for you every single time. But with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, you have the ability to take a worse photo. You also have the ability to take a better photo or a more interesting photo. And that's because you have more controls to play with. But you're more likely to take a worse photo because you have more tools at your disposal. You have more leeway to screw up the photo, if you will. Or yeah, you have more of an opportunity to screw up the photo. So, you know, but all of the standard images on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus look really phenomenal. This, you don't have that filtered look that you get with the Google Pixel 3a. This is a Galaxy Note 10 photo. As you can tell, this is Samsung in the menu bar over here. You can capture just photoreal images with the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, but you gotta know how to use it. So this has been a camera comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, which has 3 cameras, and our best buy of 2019, the Google Pixel 3a with its single 28mm f1.8 lens, which takes terrific high quality photos. You can pick up for $399. Let me know in the comment section below, which photos did you like better? The ones shot on the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, or did you like the photos shot better on the Google Pixel 3a? Comment in the comment section below. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is John. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.